This election. It sounds like I'm saying this election. I'm saying this election. Our story is set in the future. World War III has happened. America has a monarchy now, and it's called Ilea. There's also a class system. Our main character is a 5 on the class system. Her name is America Singer. Yeah. And it's a perfect name for her since she is American and she is a singer. So, yeah. So, America receives a letter telling her she is eligible to marry the prince. She will also have to compete with 34 other girls if she wants to marry this prince. So, it's a bit of a fight, a bit of a scrap. And if she does apply, she gets to live in a castle, which is great for her. She goes from a 5 to a 3 in the ranking system, which is great for her again. Her family will get paid while she's there, which is great for them. So, obviously, America said no. No, she said no because she has a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend named Aspen, who's also a class lower than her. So if she married him, it would be like really bad for her. And then she's just complaining. She's like,
oh my god, my family is so poor and winter's gonna be so tough this year and my family is so poor.
But she still won't sign up for this life-changing opportunity because, she loves Aspen, which I mean, good for her, I think. I don't know. Then she meets up with her boyfriend Aspen and he's like, hey, apply for the selection. And she's like, fine. The next day she wakes up and her mom's like, listen, if you apply for the selection, I will let you keep half the money you make from singing. So she says yes. America and her mom go to submit the application and it turns out you have to take a photo. You have to take a picture to mail along with your application. So everyone's waiting in line to get their picture taken. And America's like, wow, all these girls look like clowns with their makeup, but I am just so natural. She's just so beautiful and natural and she does not need makeup. Aspen's sisters and mother are behind them in the queue and they're like talking about how Aspen's in love with some girl. Who could it be? They don't know. So obviously America's super happy after hearing that and she thinks Aspen's gonna propose to her. So she goes into the photo booth, takes a beautiful picture, she's smiling and she looks amazing. Then she meets up with Aspen later that day in the treehouse. And he is upset because he can't provide for her. And he's basically just like,
this is so humiliating!
So they break up, I think. Something like that. They kind of break up, I guess. Which doesn't make sense because his family just said he was saving money to propose to a girl. So why was he saving all that money? In a shocking turn of events, very shocking, America gets selected for the selection. And then some guy shows up and he's like, hey, you're gonna go to the castle and all that stuff. Here's some rules you have to follow. And it's like, don't fight with the girls and blah, blah, blah. Must be a virgin, which is weird. Aspen comes to say bye and he's like, I don't want you to end up a widow because I might get drafted for the war. So the next day she says bye to like her whole town. Guess who's in the crowd with his arms around another girl? Aspen. So America's like mad, but she goes to the airport and she meets 3 girls there and they're pretty cool. They fly to LA where the castle is. So America then has a breakdown. She's crying, she's thinking about her family and she's thinking about Aspen. She tries to run out into the gardens for some fresh air and then the guards are like, nah. And she's like, bro, I can't breathe right now, please let me go outside. And then someone's like, hey, let her go out. And it's the prince. What? And she goes outside and lets the prince know that she is not here for him. She is only here for the food. Oh my god, she is so quirky. The next day, she wakes up and she's like, I should not have said that. But luckily, all the girls are gonna get turns to speak to the prince, so she can apologize, and she does. She apologizes. They make a deal. So they make a deal and America's like, hey, I'll be your spy and I'll let you know what these girls are thinking. I have no idea what she's getting out of this deal. I forgot. Or maybe there was nothing. I don't know. And then right there and then, 8 girls get kicked out, including Ashley. America's eating breakfast and she's like, oh my god, this is so good. She's like making weird sounds because it's just so good. And Maxim's like, okay, is the food really that good? And then America's like, my sister would cry if she tasted the strawberry tart. And Maxim's like, oh, for real? So they make a bet. If America wins, she's going to be allowed to wear pants. And if Maxim wins, America has to go on a walk with him So America's sister does not end up crying. On that walk, Maxon steps too close to America, so she knees him, and he's like, what the hell? And she just goes back to her room, and she's like, dang, I am getting kicked out because what the hell? But she finds a box full of pants that she can wear on Saturdays, which is cute. The next day at breakfast, they get attacked by some rebels who hate the monarchy. And apparently this happens very often. It happens several times a year, but they're still unprepared for it. Why are you so unprepared for something that happens so often? And then we find out there's two types of rebels. It's still weird because if you know so much about them, how are you still so unprepared? Max and America talk. She says sorry for kicking him. Then Max and America decide to come up with a top secret signal for when they want to communicate with each other. America again starts talking about how she's so happy that she isn't wearing tons of makeup and she isn't hung down in jewels and she still looks like herself. Yeah. And then there's like a history lesson on Ilea for some reason. I don't remember why that happened. I think they were in class maybe. America and Maxon kiss. We find out why America is named America, and Aspen is now a god at the palace. And he explains why he wasn't cheating because he was just helping that girl up because she fell. She thinks about how one time she saw Brenna falling down on the sidewalk for no reason. Which is weird because why didn't you think of that before? The Southern rebels attack. Maxon sends a ton of girls home. And some just go home because they're tired of being attacked. America's part of the final 6 girls. And she's not sure if she loves Aspen or Maxon. So she tells Aspen she's choosing herself. But right before that she told Maxon that her and him were more than friends, which is weird. I don't know. That's pretty much it for the first book. I don't know if I'll read the second book.